Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Hello, everybody. It's Becky Brown, and I am so excited to be with you today. We are in for a big treat. Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. Jill Hubbard will be taking your calls today, 1-800-229-3000. And, you know, I feel like I'm in the presence of greatness between the two of you because... I mean, you guys are like the OG when it comes to New Life Live, right?
Well, Henry really is the OG, but we go way
Becky,
back.
When I heard the intro there, it said since 1987 or 88. Actually, it was 87 because I was there. I know.
Yes.
And look at us now, Henry. I mean, who would have ever thought all these years later, right? I mean, it's just amazing what God has done through New Life. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad you're here, and I know we're going to have lots of calls that want to talk to you. But you know, Henry, one of the things I thought about when I was thinking about what do we want to hear from Henry, and I said, what do you want to talk about? And you said your life's work, which has been psychology and biblical integration, has really proved itself true over the years. I mean, it's pretty amazing, God's plan for our life, right?
Yeah, we only know in the rearview mirror, right? What's that old saying? Yeah, we make our plans and God laughs. We don't know the steps it's going to take, but they're generally, you know, people feel like at some point you've got sort of a life calling, right, or life direction. How you end up doing that changes, but my mission statement when I was 21 was I wanted to try to understand and show how the Bible can make you well instead of crazy.
Wow.
And
that says a lot.
That's been fun. And it actually can.
Well,
and that God is the great psychologist.
Using it. Well, I wrote a book last year called Why I Believe, about the whole journey, both personally and all of that. And the subtitle of it was The Psychologist's Thoughts on Suffering, Miracles, Science, and Faith. And the science section was where I dealt with all the obstacles when I came to faith that I had to find answers to. But there's one section there that says there's one area of science where I can claim a little more expertise, and that's the field of psychology, and how the science of psychology proved the Bible to me over and over and over and over and over again. How, you know, what good science does is it validates, it looks at and examines the creation. And when it does that, it finds things. I've come to love a phrase. One of my favorite verses says exactly what the science shows. And so it's been, it's almost a worshipful experience every day of learning more about how God has wired us together and also how he's spoken to that and given us answers.
It's amazing. And I think even all of the work that you've done, even you're just continuing to give that hope to so many people, Henry, and we're grateful for it because we benefit from it, but also, you know, just the millions of people who are looking for hope, and we know the way, right? I mean, it's great. Okay, so if you've always wanted to talk to Henry, if you've always wanted to talk to Jill, today is your day. 1-800-229-3000. We're going to take calls for the next 2 hours. You know, sometimes we get confused along this journey. Maybe you need to get some clarity, and we can help you with that. We've been helping people for close to 40 years. I don't know. Henry, is that the right date? I don't know. But we're going to do some more of that help right after this break.
I went to Every Man's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity. Impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Orange County, California, January 23rd through the 25th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. You've got a great show today with Dr. Jill Hubbard and Dr. Henry Cloud. Like I said in the opening, it's the OG group, and so we want to help as many people as possible. If you can't call in when we are doing a show, we always offer the opportunity, but today isn't the day for that. You need to call in today. And before we go to the calls, one of the things that Henry, your work is prolific, to say the least. Mm-hmm. But, I said before the show, I was talking to...
I'm tired?
Yeah.
That would be why you're tired, yes. I mean, that's for another show. But the incredible thing is, the word boundaries, I don't even know if anybody knew what that was when that book first came out. We just didn't even, and especially in the Christian community, right? Like, if you're a good Christian, you don't say no. And I was thinking about, so many people who struggle with saying no. And I know we're not going to do the whole show with boundaries, and we are going to get some calls. But Henry, what would you say to somebody who believes in Jesus, follows Jesus, they're doing their life, and they can't say no because Jesus wouldn't say no? That's what their belief is.
Well, I don't know what Jesus they're talking about.
Right.
The first one. He actually said, quote, "Let your yes be no and your no, or let your yes be yes and your no be no." Mm-hmm. So when you think Jesus doesn't believe in no, then ask him if you can be God and see if he says yes or no. I mean, it's built into his image. And ask him if I want to go commit this terrible sin because it's going to feel good. And see if he doesn't say no or has already said no. So here's the thing. When you're talking about Christians struggling and why I kind of caught on, no is built in from the image of God. No is built into every human. If you take a baby, okay, a baby, this is fascinating. You look at videos and as they're starting to become conscious and whatever, something that is good, like David said, God, you taught me to trust you at my mother's breast. They learn to say no, and when something is good, you see them, their whole system opens up to it. We're supposed to engage and say yes to things that are life-giving. We're built that way. But something unpleasurable or sound, what does the baby do? They start to do this. They turn away from it, and they're nodding no before they ever know the word. Their system is saying no. Your immune system says no to bad stuff. Well, roll the clock forward about 15 months, 18 months, at least when they're 2, they've learned a word to that. And I remember we were trying to teach our oldest, Olivia, to hear no. She loved to say it too, and they learn no. Then they run around. Olivia, do this. No. Do this. No. No. It comes out so easily. I remember one day, Becky, I said, Olivia, breathe. And she goes, no. I just want to see if she loved the word.
Well, they learn no before they learn.
Happened.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Their system is going to say it. Okay, but something happened.
I love
They
it.
say
I love
no maybe to an abusive or controlling parent. And that no gets shut down. Or they say no and they get manipulated by guilt. Or they say no with their body and everything in them when they're being abused, but the power from the outside overrides their no. So that no muscle either gets conflicted or broken. It was in there. It was there all along, but it got wounded. Or sometimes you got modeled into don't say no. Maybe you had a codependent enabling parent with an alcoholic or something. And it disappears. But Jesus came to seek and to save that which was lost. Seeking means he's looking for your no muscle. Save means to heal. And lost in the Greek word actually means broken beyond repair. So a lot of people's no muscle is broken, but Jesus wants to seek it and to heal it and get it working to say no to evil, inside or outside, and say yes to life.
I love it. I love it. Well, we're going to say yes to a few phone calls right now, if that's okay with you two. We're going to talk. We're going to talk with Lee, who's calling us from Tucson, and a friend recommended calling. Lee, we're so glad that you called today. How can we help you? What's your question?
Well, my youngest is coming home from the Army to live with me, and he has a lot of emotional hurts over his life, and he's very sensitive to people saying things that make him feel like he's put down, and so he reacts. And like on Sunday, he was home for Christmas, and a sister told him to stop doing something that she thought was dangerous, and he took offense and reacted. And then the other siblings tried to get him to stop mouthing off, which our family never mouths off, and he took off, and it just intensified it. And now his siblings, and then I finally told him, you leave. And so he got in his car and left for the rest of the day. But he...
You told him? Did you say you told him to leave? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Because he wouldn't calm down?
Control.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't calm down. And so then he sent mean text to everybody that they had rejected him, that they were, anyway, he sent a lot of hurtful texts to people. So now his siblings, my family's gotten along, and now they don't want to see him again for now. And they don't want to be around him, and he's mad at them, and it's become everybody's upset at each other.
So Lee, he was in the Army where you're told everything to do and you have to submit and obey. But what you're saying is he's hypersensitive to any correction at all, or maybe what he perceives as criticism from the family, and that there's a lot of old wounds.
Yes.
There.
Correct. And then my family says I need to have a contract before he comes home.
Army, or was he always kind of like this and, could react, or is this new from his post-Army experience?
Well, he's reacted before, but never this with the mouth like he was, and never as intense as he did this time. But he has.
And did the siblings get along before?
Pretty much, most of the time. He if he gets upset, for me, if he gets upset about something, he starts ranting about it. And I just stand there and don't react and let him get it off his chest. It might be an hour that he's ranting. And then he's got it out, and then he goes, and then later he'll come back and apologize to me. but because they've reacted, he won't apologize to them, and it's all their fault.
And what is the age range of all these siblings that are still living at your house?
Well,
Here at New Life,
they were home for Christmas, and he's the youngest. He's 26, and the oldest is 40. Will be 42 soon.
Oh, but the rest of them don't live there.
No. But they live.
Okay, so we don't have this problem day to day. We don't have this problem day to day.
Yeah, no, and the one that is the oldest said, well, maybe he won't come home for his vacation next time if he's living with me, because
maybe they won't.
The last 2 days, he comes home twice a year for 2 weeks usually, once in the summer, and once at Christmas.
The oldest.
No, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
the oldest, and I'm pretty sure they both have Asperger's. And the thing is so the older one, the last 2 days when they were both here, they made sure they were not out of the room at the same time. The bedrooms that they were staying in, they didn't. And so the oldest one said, I don't know if I'll be able to come back if he's living with you, but I want healing. I want to find. The oldest one said years ago, I need counseling, but I can't afford it. But I'm willing to pay for it for him to have it, And I just would like to see my family go through counseling and get healing from all this, and especially my youngest. I don't want him to feel rejected.
Is he willing to go for counseling?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I'm calling him.
And he's back in the house? Is he back in the house now and you guys are back to normal?
No, he's finishing up getting out of the Army. He's finishing his processing. I don't know if he's coming back this week, next week. Yes, he didn't know how long it would take him to finish, but he's due to get out, and he's trying to get everything.
And what I'm hearing you say, Lee, is that your family feels like it's falling apart, and you've been trying to hold it all together, and you need to know how to go forward with this. Because you could could get a counselor with everybody together, but I think what you're wanting for Jill and Henry to answer is, how do you deal with what you're seeing in front of you? Because you can't control all these parties.
And what do I? They want me to have a contract, and I need to know what to write down, how to word the contract, so that
Well, a contract for what?
Well, like for when he comes home, like I say, you're now an adult, you're going to pay rent. And you need to get a job, no sitting around doing nothing, you're going to get a job. And also, and I want to say, I would like you to get counseling for
Lee,
your wounds of the past.
Yeah, are these the things that you want? It sounds like you're getting a lot of input from your older children. And so you're kind of the broker in the middle,
right?
Negotiating this deal for them.
And how's that going for you?
The counseling I've added too.
Well, I think that's a good idea.
All right, so Lee, hold on.
Can I say one thing about the contract? I want to say one thing about the contract first. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a contract is, it's an enforceable document of expectations. All right. And Jill's got some things, I'm sure, to add to this. I'm going to just start with the contract. You need a contract, but it ain't just with this one. You need a contract. This is your house. And we're going to make some rules of, this is the vision for my home. My home is a peaceful place where people have control of themselves. Right. Not just Army boy, but everybody. And it'd be my friends, it'd be guests, and you're a guest. You don't live here. And I just allow certain things in my home, and I don't allow other things. So I'm going to hold everybody to the same standard, and we can talk about how to execute those. But if someone's upset, and here's 3 or 4 options of way to do that, but here's what's not allowed. And anybody that can't do that, I'm going to ask you to leave. I wouldn't single him out. God doesn't say, I'm going to make a contract with Joey, but not with Tom about the Ten Commandments.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
You gotta figure out what is your vision for your home, and what do you expect to happen in your home, and that we'll start here. That's got to be shared with everybody.
And
sounds like. Wait, Jill, hold that thought, because we're going to go to a break. Right after this, we'll conclude that conversation. Here at New Life, we want you to have transformation. And so we have created the New Life courses, and you meet weekly on Zoom with a coach or a counselor. You're going to have teaching as well as that group connection, because we know how powerful that is. We hear that all the time about our intensives, that they love the information, but the group process is so powerful. And many of you have been hesitant to participate because you're not sure, the timing, the price. The New Life courses are going to meet you right at that area of need. Every week you're meeting on Zoom with that therapist. You're going over the concepts as well as connecting as a group. It is so powerful, and it's accessible. Wherever you are, you're going to be able to join us.
Begin your transformation January 29th with a New Life course. Lose it for life, take your life back, or healing is a choice. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Okay, Jill.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. We are talking with Lee, who's got a family that's having a little bit of problems. And Jill, you were just about to give us some incredible tips.
Yes. So, Lee, I like what Henry is saying, because it puts you back in charge of your home. You get to say what happens in your home. But instead of a contract, I would call it an agreement. And you can, write it out. And then with your son who's living with you, you have some expectations. So, son, this is what I'm expecting when you move in. What are you expecting? And so you maybe have, an amendment with him, like a separate thing, because he's actually living there. But I would write it all out for yourself so you know it's clear, and you can send it to each of your kids. And that says you're valuing all of their input, but they don't get to be in charge of what you do. And there's certain things that you want, and I love that it's required of all of them when they are in the home.
That's right. Henry, you get the last word.
And that's perfect. Whenever I do, the sort of accountability structures, first of all, there's mutually agreed upon expectations. Can you agree to these? Like Jill said, what do you expect from me? Then the next one is how are we going to, what's the best way to say this? Have sort of okay, what then thoughts? What do we do if these expectations aren't met? And that's where you kind of specify, there might be a warning, there might be, I might ask you to go calm down, or I might send you to therapy, I might call 911, however bad it gets. So you kind of have some sort of track what they can expect if they don't fulfill it. But on the other side, what I would do is I'd sit down with him and I'd say, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for your service, and I know you went through a lot. You're hurting in some ways, and I would like for you to go get some help, and I'd be willing to help you to find that and help you, begin to be in that process and support it. And I do that at a time when this isn't happening.
Right.
And then when I'm talking to him about the expectations, I would ask, so what are we going to do if you find that difficult? I'll work with you, but if you find it difficult to contain yourself, then I'm going to have to require that you become able to do that. And that's where counseling would kind of probably have to be part of the picture, or some way for you to be able, I don't want to put expectations on you that you can't do, but I want to be able to help you try to be able to do them, because we want to work towards healing. And then you can figure out the rest of it. With adult kids, I hate that term, living at home, sometimes you do let them stay there for no rent in the service of something. Sometimes when somebody graduates and they come home, they got a season, it's in the service of saving money so they can make a down payment or so they go to school. Or they do pay rent. The point is that everybody here contributes in some way. So there's none of us live here. Our 5-year-olds didn't live in our house for free. They had chores. So everybody's got to contribute. And that way you're getting a culture of this isn't mom just enabling everything.
Do you know what's interesting about, I also don't like the term adult kids, but what do we call them? But this is a family structure that's being corrected or has.
Sally.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. They have names? Oh, really? Yeah. But I think, we hear so many times that families are blowing up. There's estrangement. And it doesn't always happen parent to child, however old the child is. But what Lee has described is a family that's going to estrange, and it seems that the son is he's the lightning rod for the reason. And there's deeper reasons than that.
Right, but she's also naming 2 of the sons, the oldest and the youngest, with Asperger's. So they're going to not always, sense things correctly and be reactive, right? So when there's only one of them, it sounds like it's calm, but with 2 of them, there are fireworks.
We all have work to do.
Yep.
That's for sure. All right. Well, thank you, Lee, for calling.
There's an old term. There's an old term in the family therapy world since I was in college, and it's called the identified patient.
Yes.
Or the scapegoat. And a lot of times when a family is broken, there's one person that turns into the scapegoat or gets blamed, or they become the patient. Really, everybody's got issues. It's just the gravity and the physics flow down in this direction.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Lee. We'll be praying for a great resolution. We're going to go back to the calls after this break, and we're going to talk to you, Kate. So hold on. Don't go anywhere. A lot of times that's the way that happens, isn't it? That we hear the music and then we can't do what we want to do. We have been helping people for so many years, and in a couple of weeks, we're going to help a whole lot of couples at our Intimacy and Marriage Intensive. I want you to be there. If you're married and you need help in your marriage, or if you haven't done any work in your marriage in the last few years, decades, maybe ever, join us in Orange County. It's going to be the weekend of Valentine's Day, and it may be the very perfect Valentine gift that you could give your spouse. And join us there. We're going to hear from JJ West, Laura Manja McDonald. We're going to help you get some clarity and to set your marriage in the right direction. We'll be right back after this.
We've been married 33 years. We attended the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. Even though we've read books or attended a few other marriage weekends, this was certainly different and a lot more intensive than initially that we thought.
When you come to Intimacy and Marriage, you're going to be immersed into a 3-day process.
Was not really sure exactly what to expect, but the idea of learning to really understand intimacy was intriguing. We had been in the same patterns of struggle over and over again.
If you've thought, I don't think we can ever change, we're just in this rut and we can't get out, the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop can help you get out of the rut.
The Intimacy and Marriage Weekend is February 13th to the 15th in Orange County, California. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the code NLL for a discount. 1-800-639-5433.
I would highly recommend it.
There's a place where real healing begins, where truth meets grace, and where transformation starts. New Life Recovery Groups offers a Christ-centered, supportive community for growth, healing, and restoration. Built on a proven 12-step foundation and grounded in biblical truth, these groups help bring clarity, accountability, and lasting hope for those who are ready for change. And when deeper personal guidance is needed, one-on-one coaching and counseling are available, walking with you every step of the way. Here, lives are renewed, stories are rewritten, and hope is restored. You're not alone. You're not judged. You're welcomed into a community that believes God is still at work in your story. Take the next step toward healing. Join a New Life Recovery Group today, online or in person. Visit newlife.com/groups or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Find healing, find community, find new life. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. Before we went to the break, I was telling you about the Intimacy and Marriage that's going to be in Orange County, and I forgot to mention that we have an early bird discount going on that ends January 30. So you can go to newlife.com or you can call us and find out all the details there. But we're going to go to Kate, who's been waiting so patiently. She is calling us from Dallas and listens on the internet. Hello, Kate. Thanks for calling. How can we help you today?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking my call. I've been listening to the OGs for over 30 years. I really feel blessed today to be able to get on. But my question is, I believe my son...
You must be approaching 42.
That's why I like you, Henry.
Yeah.
Well, I believe my son has some issues with alcohol and potentially maybe Adderall mixed in there. I have confronted him on this, and now I'm like public enemy number one. Mm-hmm. So our relationship is very strained, and he tends to be very angry at me and will lash out on me and starts fighting. You know, he'll say things, but then he never wants to come around and say, like, I was out of line. He just brushes everything under the table. And I'm trying to help him, but I feel like he's pushing me so far so that he's not accountable to me. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Kate, how old is he?
He's 32. And we live very close to each other, next door, and I watch his children. And, it's just very hurtful because we've been so close our whole lives. My family, kind of like your last caller, so close, and this has been causing a problem. But there's a lot of background to it, but he got very angry at me because one day he had called and he had ripped me up one side and down the other about an issue with the children, but he was actually drinking that day, and it wasn't even making sense. So then after that, he had asked me to do something, and I told him I'm reconsidering my offer on that because I don't appreciate the way you treated me, and I would appreciate an apology, but more importantly, I'd like to see this behavior change because I'm noticing a pattern like this. Well, then he got so angry at me, came over, said, oh, you're manipulative, you're controlling, you're this, you're that. And I just don't know where to go because my heart is, I want him to get some help with his drinking, but he's not seeing it as a problem yet, nor is his wife. They told me, what is it to you if I want to have a drink? Well, I just see that it's, not working in their favor anymore.
So the wife, does she also drink? Like, is that one of the things?
No, she does not.
Oh, she doesn't. But she doesn't see his drinking as a problem.
Right.
Okay.
Which is a problem, I think, but that she doesn't see it that way.
Well, Kate, I think it's usually not the best idea to engage and argue with someone when they're drinking.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a father who was alcoholic and died from it, so I know
scary for you.
He wants, I don't want to see him going down that road.
Of course not.
So I the strange thing is he doesn't think I know that he's drinking, but I know he's drinking. So it's like,
well, you're probably a little more hyper attuned to it because you grew up with that.
Right. And so then I'm trying to find a balance. Is it my problem? Is it their problem? I'm not really sure because maybe I have a little higher expectation in that area.
Wouldn't you both say that there's a problem because the adult is yelling at the other adult? Like, isn't there a problem if somebody's yelling at, I mean, the way he's treating her,
right,
I think is a problem.
Right.
Henry, what would you say?
Well, the first thing I wanted to understand was he said their response was, what's it to you if I have a drink? Are you like you don't want to be around anybody that has a drink, or are you talking about that his behavior is clearly intoxicated behavior? Where's your line?
No, I'm not. I don't swing that far. I actually used to enjoy a drink here and there. I have friends that socialize. I'm not like one, hands down, no alcohol, but I'm watching a behavior happen when he's drinking that's really not good.
Yeah. Well, you got a big obstacle here. And the obstacle is that if somebody's got an addiction or a substance problem or anything like that, it's generally the people that are most affected by that feel the need for something to be done about it, and not only most affected, but also have some sort of a leverage. What they think or want matters. The one closest to him, his wife, doesn't think this is a problem. So what you're trying to do here is you're trying to have an effect of a behavior change where you have very little leverage and you've got more powerful forces within his immediate system than you have available to you.
Yeah.
Okay? He already knows that you see this as a problem. I'd probably not lead with that. I'd put that aside for a second. The problem here is his behavior when he's with you. That's really what you can most effectively have a chance at impacting. And I mean, it could be this causing it, it could be that. Who knows what's causing it? And I wouldn't begin with a confrontation. What I would do is I would begin in the way I think the scripture tells us to begin, and that is that we start with affirming the relationship, for God so loved the world, okay? And I would start with, Joey, I love you, and I love the times we used to have together, and I want more of those. And it's broken down. I mean, we're kind of broken now. And I just want to hear from you, how do you think we got here? You know, tell me what's going on. And see if he can begin to open up about that. And you begin with hearing that first instead of changing him first, because that's never going to work, usually, unless you're a cop with a badge and have leverage to throw him in jail, which then, you know, whatever. So I would start there, and then I would ask him, let's figure out a way forward. What do we want from each other? What's the relationship like that we want? And if you're ever going to have an effect on the drinking, I think you got to start with building trust. And then you can have some expectations, like, you know, Jill was talking about on the previous caller. You know, if we have a conflict, I'd like for us to talk about it. I don't like getting yelled at, you know, and stuff like that. And work on that first. And if this drinking is a problem, if it's a problem, there are going to be consequences that fall into his life and his marriage and his job. And he's not listening to confrontation. People listen to consequences. Now, if he starts to bring that into your home, that's where you can have limits and say, you know what, I don't like to be yelled at, and I don't like this. I'd be glad to talk about this stuff, and if we need be, let's go make an appointment with a counselor that can help us. But you can have the limits on the behavior that you don't want. But I would start with trying to build the bridge back first.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start, Kate. Don't focus on the drinking. And I would even at some point admit to him and maybe even apologize for focusing on his drinking, because you have no control over that. And I would share with him, you know, your upbringing has made you fearful about that. And so, you know.
And you don't want that for him.
Yeah, and that it scares you because you don't want that for him, but you realize that you are extra sensitive and that it's really his choice, right? He's an adult.
And at the same time, you know, what we're not saying is allow somebody to destroy themselves, because extended families ultimately, if this gets whatever, extended families do come together and deal with the drinking. It's just right now, I try to build that bridge first.
That's right. Well, we will be right back after this break with more wisdom from Henry and Jill.
My husband addicted to pornography for the majority of our marriage. I was very isolated and didn't really know which way to turn.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
I went to the Restore conference, which seemed to be the missing puzzle piece where I was able to find my voice.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we are not stuck because someone else made a decision. God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Dallas, Texas, March 6th to the 8th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
I'm navigating my world now. It feels so wonderful.
I've had a great experience at Restore.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who give financially to support New Life. You are making a difference in the lives of so many people, and it may be your life that changes the most because of your generosity. You are helping us reach out to so many people. We are having a special event for our recurring givers, also known as Club New Life, on Tuesday, February 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern. I think that is. Nobody correct me, but anyway, you're going to hear a special message from Jim Burns, who you hear all the time. We'll have a time of Q&A. If you want more information, you can call us 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com and we'll give you the information. But right now, we're going to go back to the calls. We are here with Henry and Jill, the OG. I was told, Henry, I should have said that you are an acclaimed leadership expert, and you are. You've done so many things, but I just don't want to dismiss the fact that you have impacted so many people's lives, not only through your writings, but your teachings and your commitment to God and everything that you do. And I want to say thank you for everybody who's listening right now, because I know that they have been impacted by your life. So thank you, Henry. Now we're going to go to the calls. And we're going to talk with Lucy, not your daughter, but another person, Lucy, who's calling from Peoria, and she listens on.
Okay, you open the door. You open the door.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to go wherever you get your music. Go look up Lucy Cloud, and you can start. She just released a new EP, and look up the song in every sort of way. I would start with that one. That's my favorite on there.
I love a proud dad moment.
I do.
That's awesome.
I love it.
All right. Well, Lucy in Peoria, I don't think that's your deal, but hey, we're glad you called today. How can we help you, Lucy?
Well, I listen to your podcast every morning, and I love it, and I've been listening for years, and I value what you guys have to say. So I have a question. I have a 13-year-old son that will be 14 this year, and I feel his dad is coercing him to come live with them. He told me a long time ago that my dad said when I was 14, I'm going to come live with him. Mm-hmm. And last year, I'm sorry, I'm so nervous. My heart's pounding.
Oh, that's okay.
Last year, my son was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and this past weekend, he was mad at me and couldn't give me a reason why, but he gave me a reason, or he told me he didn't want to live. He didn't deserve to live. Mm. And he's never talked like that before. He always wants to see his dad and his family, but doesn't want to see my family. And I have documented so many things over the years of what his dad has done that my son has told me. And, my son doesn't tell me much anymore because he says he wants to keep the peace. And I try not to say anything bad about his dad, but I think his dad says a lot to him about me. So I called in to ask for a counselor, and Kay wanted me to talk to you guys, so here I am.
Mm-hmm. I love that she did that. Mm-hmm. Henry, what would you say to Lucy about this situation?
I was a little unclear. He wants to go live with his dad. That's your ex?
He is my ex. We've been divorced since my son was 5 years old, and he's now 13, going to be 14 this year.
Okay. And before we kind of give thoughts, a lot of times it's really important to know what kind of rock or sand somebody's standing on. What are the divorce, settlement, custody, what's allowed, not allowed, dictated, mandated? How does that work?
Well, we have shared custody, and during school, he's supposed to come here on Tuesdays. His dad won't let him come here on Tuesdays. He does the summer thing, which is Wednesdays. And then he'll pick him up early, which he's supposed to pick him up after work, which he doesn't work much. So he picks him up in the mornings instead of at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And so, he's not going by the agreement that we had.
He does what he wants.
And what's been done? What's been done about
exactly. that? I haven't done anything because I'm afraid if I do anything that he will take it out on our son and say more things. So I just kind of let it go. But this last weekend was very disturbing when he was talking about he doesn't deserve to live.
Yeah,
he's never been like that before.
That's the thing. Before you solve any of these other problems, that's the one that's got to be addressed first.
Yes.
And so that should be a co-parenting problem, right? You and your ex. I mean, y'all should figure out what are we going to do for our son, who is obviously struggling. And secondly, I'm sure you know this. Colitis. It's so well documented, the flare-ups and all that stress doesn't cause the disease or the problem, but a big factor in how it plays out. So his mood disorder, whatever that might be, and this colitis are related as well. So I would get him, I would intervene and get him treatment and counseling immediately, especially when you hear something that sounds like that. That's number one. Now, hopefully, if you can engage that in a co-parenting way where the counselor's working with both of you, that counselor's going to really get into y'all's dynamic and how he's behaving, because the kid's getting played out in a pond between the two of you, and a good adolescent counselor is going to go after that. So that's probably the best strategy, even to solve this other problem.
Right.
Well, I need to get myself into counseling, and I've tried several times to get him into counseling, and his dad will cancel the appointments because he'll think something's wrong with him.
Well,
something is wrong right now.
Family attorney.
Exactly.
You might need to find out the legal standing that you have to require what. That's why I began with that. And go back to talk to a lawyer as well.
Yeah.
Well, and you might even, no, it's okay. You might even start with the medical doctor, right? And ask for a referral from him, get him on board with recommending that the son go to counseling. So it's the doctor's recommendation, because it sounds like dad is constantly fighting you. So anything you do, he's going to go against. So you need other people that are recommending this for son in terms of his treatment. And, I would be curious, too, when he says he doesn't deserve to live. This isn't I don't want to live. This is I don't deserve to live. And, I really wonder what that's about. I might ask him about that. What do you mean by deserve? Tell me more.
What we do know is that time is of the essence for him, and you can't wait, Lucy. And so we will get you connected with somebody that can help your family. It's so hard when we're in those stressful situations and then somebody needs immediate help and your son does. We're grateful that you called, Lucy. Hold on, and we'll get you directed to a therapist. We only have a few seconds before the end of the program, but we are going to continue to take calls for the next hour. 1-800-229-3000 is your way to talk to Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. Joel Hubbard. We are so grateful that we have the opportunity to connect with people wherever they are. So if you are in a struggle, give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. For the rest of the resources, you can always go to newlife.com. We've got some incredible ways for you to take the next step in your life to experience a new life. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Jill.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.